Mikey, I just wanted to get this video out for you to tell you what I was thinking with this new sprite that you had shown me. So I absolutely love this. I think that the new sprites you're giving me are just amazing. And this electricity effect that you did here is just like, I kind of want to take it and run with it. And like if this was its flying animation, its shooting animation could just be this groan, and be like an electricity blast. And in the next work order, what I would like is just to give the player a different look, is to do an electricity version of our homing orb. That would just basically be a big ball of electricity, and it might even be a little bit larger than this. And the challenge with this piece would be to make sure that it stands out enough on the battlefield. So it would be like a really condensed, like kind of crazy ball of electricity. And I just think it would be like a really fresh, unique way to engage the player. And once we get to level 3, or once we get to like level 4, or I might even sprinkle a couple of these enemies in on like level 3 and maybe even level 2 as like a little mini boss, but we'll see. But I think that it'd be really refreshing for the player to see a different form of attack, even if it is essentially just a reskin. And I might do something a little different with the game logic, like give it a little twitch, so maybe it kind of homes in on the player slowly and then kind of like twitches towards them, and kind of, I'll do like a little thing where like it pushes itself towards the player, kind of like jerks itself around or something. But I think that would be really cool. But that's in the next work order. But I also wanted to, just for planning ahead on the current work order, like I want to make sure that we get all the enemies done first, before we, I don't want to go crazy like changing things up as far as getting this bullet done. But just as planning ahead for the current work order, when you get to this laser cannon, since this electricity thing is so cool, I'd like to do it with multiple enemies. So I think that this cannon guy, we could do this just like you had done the last one, make his flying animation with him always kind of charging this electricity here, and then his shoot animation have this big electricity blast. And if you can see where I'm going with it, I'd also like, and this is on the next work order, our laser blast to be redone in electricity form. So I mean, the warning could be just like a real faint thing of lightning that flickers, and then the blast, could be just this big ball up here of electricity, and then these like big lightning bolts that kind of shoot down. But I still want it kind of tight, and this again would just be like a reskin of this. And I might actually see, and of course it would definitely increase the price and stuff, I might get this a little bit larger. I think we did 700 pixels on this, or I forget, maybe even we did 800. I might want it a little bit bigger because it doesn't really span. This current one doesn't span as far as I would like horizontally for my horizontal character, so I have to like have the enemy shoot a little bit further in than I would like. The more pixels, the more money. It's not really a big deal for me on my end. And if it is on your end, let me know. But yeah, I think it would be really cool. And like I said, the challenge of these electricity blasts would be just to make sure that they stand out on the battlefield. Again, too, as we get later in the game, the backgrounds are going to get darker and darker. So I think the electricity will in fact stand out. And I can just imagine this with like some really cool sound effects, like lightning or thunder crackling, like a lightning crackle effect would just be awesome, So again, man, I'm really happy with these new sprites. Are just friggin' awesome. They're blowing me away. It's kind of the reason why I sent you some more money. So keep them coming and keep the creativity flowing, and they just look really good, and take your time with them. Like I said, it's actually been working out perfect for me, because as the sprites come in, I don't get overwhelmed with the workload either, because I don't have much time right now. I'm back at work and I got my side business going on, so I get like only a couple hours a night if I'm lucky to do any game dev. So yeah, these look just amazing. I'm really happy with them. And I think that introducing the player with some different enemy attacks later on in the game is just going to really give it that little bit of rejuvenation. And especially with all these different enemy types and the backgrounds getting cooler, Oh, and also, I talked to you earlier about the backgrounds, potentially maybe doing some backgrounds later on. Don't worry about that. I actually had contacted a person about doing some backgrounds for me, the same one that did the background that we're currently working on. Just because I prefer, you know, if you were available when you were done the enemy sprites, if we could start the audio, if you were up for it, I definitely would like to hire you out for that, because you did such a good job on the last 2 projects for me. So, you know, there's actually a lot of moving parts to this game right now. I'm actually talking to like an animator about doing like a small little like comic book sketch to do the storyline. And you know, get the backgrounds kind of going on at the same time. Hopefully those will be rolling in later this month and into April. So I mean, like right now I'm just like pushing the release date of this game back. It's not a big deal for me to just push this back. So yeah, man, I mean, we'll just work on these enemies one at a time, man. I got some good ideas for some bosses, and like I said, these sprites are just awesome. So I'm all about taking my time, and right now, as far as my current job goes, I've landed a couple decent gigs and on my side business and everything. So I mean, like, money's not really that big of a problem right now, so I definitely don't mind spending the money. Alright, man, thank you. I'll talk to you later.